course, my shorts don't match. Whew. Also, as Bobby Hemmett said, it's all about the shirts in lecturing, not about the pants. He said, you wear the same pants every lecture. Change your shirt, nigga. People will define your lectures by your shirts. Shit, you ain't lie. All right. So again, I'm out of energy lately because I'm recovering. So I got to go slow. So I'm going to start here with a simple book. There are many, but this one I find should be where most folks should start off. Not really giving props so much to the author, because I think once most authors come across the masters who dispense this information, it's real easy to write a book on the subject. Most of them become instant authors because you will see yourself, the information is easy to grasp because you're reading about something you have done or was done or you have observed your entire life. You just have not been aware of it. Dark Psychology 101 and books of this type, which I'll kind of give you the climate of, kind of make you aware of human behavior, your own behavior, how to not be manipulated by this human behavior and manipulate others by it for your gains. Hopefully you have a good heart and the manipulation is for the betterment of both parties. But then maybe somebody needs that spiritual ass whipping that they so deserve. So Dark Psychology 101, learn the secrets to convert emotional manipulation, dark persuasion, undetected mind control, mind games, deception, hypnotism, brainwashing, and other tricks of the trade. This one is by Michael Pace. I like this one because it's so to the point, and anyone who has not heard of the subject, this is a hellified introduction, because once you just look for dark psychology, you'll find book after book after book, this thick, 3 volumes. You want dark psychology, body language, face language, manipulation of, I'm missing some. You want neuro-linguistic programming. You want mind control books. Any of that subject. What you would do is find a climate of the most generic understanding of the human psyche that everyone holds to be true, in terms of the 7 things that all people want and need to function in their ego. And those 7 things are pretty much how most folks are manipulated. So you'll find understanding those 7 things where people are strong, where they're weak, and what they need. And this tells you the technique of facilitating those emotional needs that every person would need. Now, ultimately, in this best case scenario, you would use this in business and just to function at the doctor's office, just to get people to smile and get the services that you need smooth, stress-free, and unhinged. We're not necessarily talking about having niggas standing there doing this, you understand? But this is also the pathway to have niggas standing there doing this, than having an argumentative psychology of why they're defending any other person besides their own consciousness, and or any other individual who has the same stuff that they have. You can get down that route. So again, as I pointed out, it depends on what's in your heart. So what's in my heart is pretty much to move through without being darkly manipulated, to be aware of that which is in the dark side. That's what we doing. I would read dark psychology and write a book called The 7 Laws of Dark Power, because in the darkness is where the true self is actually running the show. The true self connected to your subconsciousness. What is subconsciousness? Well, what is consciousness? Not the slang that you're dealing with this information, just that you're aware. Subconsciousness is a subordinate awareness. That nickname is called the dark side. Your subordinate awareness is the dark side. Now, when you get into the occult, you're dealing with the power of that subordinate dark awareness, of how not only just to manipulate, how you can be manipulated to manipulate others, but there is a hidden culture, which is called occult. Hidden culture that you could tap into for power, and it expands beyond just your ego and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and your willpower to get shit done. So, Dark Psychology 101 is the study. We don't have to go through the book. This is where I suggest you start to get into that study, and why I feel so comfortable at telling you guys, because I think you are the guys who will get the books. Dark psychology is one of the most powerful forces in the world at work today. It is used by most of the powerful influencers the world has ever known. So, what that statement alone means is that to truly get power, you must do this. This is not like something you doing while the others aren't doing. I guarantee you, when you understand this, your dumbest of Christian friends who are the most successful naturally do this. And in fact, when you read this book, especially this one, it'll explain to you the natural thing. You'll be like, God damn, I do that all the time. And it'll tell you the meanings behind the natural movements and things we do. It'll show you, no matter how cool you are, you're just another fucking bloat walking around, niggering about the town. You understand what I'm saying? Not doing much, but to become aware of it changes the game. So what they're saying is, it's not something you can do to really gain power. It's something you must do. Because if you're not communicating with someone's psyche, then you're talking to their ego, and the ego changes with whatever danger or scenario is presented. So to have truly control, if you're connected to their psyche, no matter where they change, and they see you in a positive way, no matter what danger presented to them, they see you as a part of their salvation if they connect you to that aspect of their psychological well-being, which is what you should be trying to do and understand if you study. So Dark Psychology 101 is the basic study on the psychological makeup of the human being that no one sees, speaks to mouth, but everyone knows. I want to talk about gaming. We'll take like Grand Theft Auto, and we'll take Call of Duty, probably the most popular, and the sports games. The sports games only reinforce what sports were doing in the first place. Sports in terms of its goal for keeping you occupied, keeping you to live vicariously through the player. Our team, us, wearing the whole outfit. Like, you could just go on. So his whole life is connected to this. So to be able to play in a game, Madden and all the rest of that shit, that's obvious. That only reinforces what it is. Now, when you have a kid playing Call of Duty, all it is one great advertisement for United States service. So it puts, just like Grand Theft, in your mind. Well, before I get to Grand Theft, let's just stick with this. We look at those cheesy army commercials. Be all you could be great, you could be special. And we think that's the bulk of it. Or some recruiter, come here, son, come here, son, come here, son. That's the bulk of how they get you. This is the fucking U.S. military. You think that's where they stop in terms of their mind control to hook you in? Most white boys get hooked in on the Call of Duty. You're numb to this level of killing, to objectives. You're learning constantly over objectives. Therefore, if you find yourself in the military, either by some future force or whatever reason, Ukraine, and you just have to pick up a gun, you have been programmed as a kid with just listening to objectives without thinking about you're actually going in this game to kill people. Desensitized, that's right, is the word. It's desensitizing you, but not only is it desensitizing you, it's programming you for war tactic. So assume, say, Sumi, as I just got finished telling you, without trying to use the buzzword to figure me out or figure it out, because you don't have to say it. Listen, I told you in the 80s I was desensitized when my father was telling me about just 20 years before when he was in Vietnam. I didn't give a fuck. We were already desensitized. The news, whatever means we had. Because if we were on level 2, level 3 is desensitized. So now we may be at level 10, but level 3 was a big deal in the 80s. So desensitizing you was always the trick, because you could be manipulated by being desensitized. So the level of desensitized, let's expand on it. Because we already know you're fucking desensitized. That's why you can and interested in playing the game. Fuck desensitized. The question becomes, were you ever fucking sensitive, stupid? What system did you have besides that which was in your heart that made you sensitive? And you're already out of that before you even realize the sensation called sensitivity or desensitivity. It's up to you to stimulate those sensitive behaviors. So desensitized, the question was you ever really sensitive? You know what I'm saying? It's not like you were sensitive people. You seen something and all of a sudden got mean. You never was shit. From day one, you're always fighting your manners. And your manners are only dictated so you don't become a spectacle. But you don't give a fuck about the person at the store. Are you sensitive to the person that standing in front of the store when you walk by? You're like, I got some change. I ain't eating 3 days. Go get a job, Oscar the Grouch. You were desensitized, as Dave Chappelle told you. Why do you step over homeless people on the street, huh? Because they showed you Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street. You don't give a fuck about a nigga living in a garbage can. Get it together, Grouch. How come that man is homeless? He hasn't eaten. And people aren't saying that, he's a grouch. Fucking grouch. You understand? So you're not, those things don't let you get to be compassionate and sensitive. Forget desensitized. You don't even build enough sensitivity in this world. When you're young, it is about you. You don't know any better. Everything's about my granddaughter. Give me now, mine now. I want it, and cries. You start to sensitize them to other people's needs and agendas. Not right now, sweetie. Can't do it right now. We'll get it after dinner. You can't eat 4 cookies. You can eat 2. And they stop pouting and they start learning that's the way it is. So they're not really sensitive because they still want the 4 cookies. But manners and consequences keep them in check. When you grow up, you start saying, now I get why my mother showed me manners and consequences. My father showed me manners and consequences. So I can see the other person's story ultimately, i.e., become sensitive to the next man's plight. To desensitize myself is not to give a fuck. So these things don't allow you to be sensitive in the first place. And you don't grow that compassion because people are just throwaways. And we haven't even gotten to Grand Theft Auto yet. So for the person who has the mindset of the military, which is usually the poor white trash, the Proud Boys. That's why it's easy to get them on names like that, the Proud Boys and the Patriots. And they give out this false and fake history. White patriotic men look the greatest. And that was also a part of why they tell the history that they do from a military standpoint with this American barefooted, 2-muzzle shotgun beat the British fucking army, who was kicking ass all around the world, but you beat their ass. So it puts something in somebody why today they call themselves the Proud Boys. They're trying to act like they're the Minutemen of old. They want to be that. They have nothing. And the only thing they really learned in school is that. Because everything that dictated reality. If there was a nigga in the school, he was the coolest one. There's a nigga in the school, he ran the sports. There's a nigga in the school, he probably was smarter. There's a nigga in his school, he fucked the white girls. And all the white girls they wanted to fuck that nigga. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a fact. And that's not even factoring in rap and cool. And if it was niggas and whites, if there was just one nigga, that would be a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So they ain't got nothing. And we know that. They'll tell you all the time, we're losing everything. They're making Little Orphan Annie over with niggers. We have nothing. We need our Little Orphan Annie. So you have this call, which Donald Trump activated in these white boys because they have no self-esteem. The true self-esteem that their fathers gave them through history was this warmonger. So if they do not do war, they have to be Minutemen or militia or ready for war constantly. If they're not going to go to Iraq, if they can't see their way, they're ready to kill your black ass. Because you were the one who took all the girls, took all their attention, No matter what they did, you were always the one who scored the most. Throw Panic the ball. Here's your plan, white boys. Throw him the ball. The girls, so on and so forth. And then, even if they didn't experience this firsthand, everything in the media with rap music is taking over. And even if they're not with it and don't understand, which 80% of them are, country music is rap music now, even. 80% of them are, they're tired of niggas in the video talking about take that, take that, take that, take that, all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Take that, take that. They're like, the way this is going is un-Proud Boy, un-American, unpatriotic. We're the vermin. We're the invader in land that's ours, on a planet that's ours, in the cosmos that is an extension of our mind. This is an ignorance in us. This is not a separate entity doing something to us. This is our own ignorance we need to deal with. That's why I emphasize things as dark psychology, because they manipulate you with your own emotions, your own ego, and that which you don't know about yourself, not what you don't know about them. So you got these fucking fool ass niggas in front of you telling you about them all day. It ain't about them, it's about you and what you don't know. And that's what a teacher teaches a real student in this game. Anybody cheerleading how fucked up they are, and that's the extent of their message, is trying to tell you what you want, and that is dark psychology manipulation. That's the easy route. Everyone gets into consciousness because they can't stand Whitey. But then you grow up and realize he's a non-factor. He's a threat for what he is, just like mosquitoes are a threat to you in the summertime. Water bugs are a threat when it turns to fall because they want to come in for the heat. And some of you niggas got rats and roaches because you live in a project. All of those things are threats. But nevertheless, it has nothing to do with who and what you are and your agenda. Those are things you deal with, but that's not things you live your life by. Unless you're so overwhelmed, and the only way you're overwhelmed if you created that condition in your own mind.